The story takes place in the isolated countryside of Australia. During the night, a farmer hears his sheep agitated inside the barn and decides to go out and check what is happening. However, upon arriving at the barn, he ends up being brutally attacked by some kind of ferocious creature. Shortly afterward, worried about her husband's delay, his wife goes out looking for him, but she also ends up surrounded and killed by the animals. The following morning, we meet Adam Wilson, a farmer who lives isolated in the countryside with his family. While following his routine and taking care of the sheep in the pasture, he finds something strange. Some of them have been brutally killed. Furious over the loss, Adam decides to follow the blood trails in search of whoever is responsible. Next, we meet his son Henry, who happily plays with Ollie, the family dog. While hiding in his secret hideout, the boy hears his mother calling him. Carla, who works as a veterinarian, asks for help with an injured dog. After finishing the task, she tells Henry to take the animal to the cage. Upon arriving at the kennel, the boy notices that one of the cages is empty and approaches it curiously. However, an enraged cat suddenly appears, frightening him. While Henry leaves irritated by the scare, Carla hears on the radio the news that an elderly couple was brutally attacked. According to the journalist, wild dogs may be responsible. Without paying much attention to the warning, she simply turns the radio off. Near the forest, Adam notices that something fell into his trap but managed to escape toward the woods. At the same time, Sophie, the couple's daughter, calmly talks to her friend Danny on the phone. Meanwhile, Carla checks several overdue bills and becomes irritated seeing her daughter acting as if nothing is happening. She tells Sophie to hang up the phone, but the young woman ignores her mother's warnings. Losing patience, Carla pulls the cable from the outlet, making Sophie immediately confront her. Carla argues back, saying those calls are expensive and they do not have money to waste. Frustrated with life on the farm, Sophie says that if they lived in the big city, she would have her own phone and would not need to use the house phone. While the two continue arguing, Henry notices a car approaching. The boy interrupts the fight, warning that the man has returned, leaving Carla visibly nervous. Without wasting time, she tells Sophie to take her brother inside while she goes to talk to him. In the pasture, Adam burns the remains of the animals when he receives a call from Carla. He warns her that something killed the sheep, but his wife asks him to return to the farm. Later, the children overhear their parents' conversation with the bank collector, and Henry asks if they will have to move away. Sophie replies that she does not know, but admits she would love to leave that place, making her brother sad. The collector explains that all the farm payments are overdue and warns that the bank intends to seize the property. The couple tries to renegotiate the debt, but the man states that it will not be possible since the family's income dropped significantly that year. Adam tries to explain the situation, saying that every week he finds dead animals and that they are suffering heavy losses. Even so, the collector offers $200,000 for the farm and warns that if they refuse, the bank will take the case to court, which will result in the family's eviction. Adam makes it clear that he does not intend to sell the property, but Sophie interrupts, saying they should accept. Irritated, Adam tells his daughter to be quiet, but she fires back, claiming her father only cares about that farm. Sophie insists on accepting the deal, and Adam loses his patience, sending her to her room. Furious, he throws the collector off his property and tells him to stay away. After the man leaves, Henry hugs his father sadly while Adam talks with Carla. She says they could lose everything, but he insists that will not happen. Meanwhile, the bank collector is driving back and stops by the roadside to relieve himself. As he approaches the forest, he hears strange noises. Suddenly, he notices dogs running around him and freezes. Within seconds, the pack surrounds and brutally attacks him, killing him. During the night, Sophie is in the living room with her parents and decides to go upstairs to sleep. Carla approaches Adam, who tries not to make noise so he will not wake Henry. She notices he is trying to hide his concern and hugs him to comfort him. Sophie is in the bathroom when the lights go out, and Carla warns her to be careful. She then asks Adam to go start the generator. Before leaving, he wakes Henry, asking him to take care of his mother. Meanwhile, wild animals begin roaming around the property. Adam leaves the house and asks Carla to check the fuse box. She calls Henry to go with her, and the boy asks if it will take long, admitting he is afraid of the place. Carla reassures him, saying there is nothing to fear, and the two continue together. Adam manages to reach the generator while Carla and Henry check the fuses. Henry feels uncomfortable in the place, and the atmosphere worsens when he notices something running above them, but he decides not to say anything. Carla announces that they are finished and should head back upstairs. Meanwhile, Adam manages to get the generator working, restoring power to the house. However, he notices that Ollie has disappeared and begins searching for him. Adam moves away from the property, heads toward the forest, and enters it. He starts hearing growls and soon notices the animal's eyes glowing in the darkness. Realizing he is surrounded, he sighs in tension and runs back. The howls echo behind him until Adam desperately reaches the house, telling Carla to get away immediately. She notices pounding on the door and goes into shock while Adam tells her to warn Sophie. Carla approaches, asking who is outside, but he orders her to hurry. She grabs Henry and takes him to Sophie's room, where Sophie asks what is happening. Carla tells her daughter to stay in the room and take care of her brother, although Sophie keeps asking questions. Next, Carla grabs some ammunition while Adam arms himself. The pounding continues, and Adam approaches the door on alert. He does not answer Carla's questions, and frightened, she decides to call the police, warning that someone is trying to break into the house. Adam says the police will only arrive in the morning, and at that moment they hear windows shattering. They run to barricade them while hearing the children screaming. After barricading everything, they return their attention to the door. The two slowly approach while the dogs growl and try to break into the house. At that moment, Adam notices one of them behind the door and quickly fires, hitting the animal. He opens the door and finds blood spread across the porch. Relieved, Adam thinks he killed the dog, but ends up being attacked by another one while Carla drives the animal away by striking it. She then quickly closes the door. Later, Carla tends to her husband's wounds when the children appear. They ask if their father is okay, and Adam replies that he is to reassure them. Carla says he did not break his arm, but warns him to be careful moving it. At that moment, Sophie appears holding the broken phone and asks if her mother managed to call for help. Carla replies that now they can only wait. Henry then asks about Ollie, but Adam admits he does not know where the dog is. Frightened, Sophie asks what is happening. Adam explains that it looked like a dog, but claims that animal was not domestic, since it attacked him extremely aggressively. Carla says she does not understand their behavior and explains that even wolves avoid contact with humans out of fear. She also rules out rabies, claiming an infected animal would not try to break windows to enter a house. While she finishes treating Adam, they hear the animals howling outside. Worried, Sophie asks how many there are, and Carla reveals that predators usually hunt in packs. The revelation sends the girl into panic, but suddenly the howling stops. Sophie asks if that is a good sign, but Carla clearly does not believe so. Carla approaches Adam, who asks where the spare shells are. She replies that they were left in the clinic, but tells him not to worry about that, saying he needs a hospital. At that moment, they notice the siren of a police car, and everyone becomes excited. The officer approaches the house and tries contacting dispatch, unaware that the wild dogs are already watching him and beginning to surround him. Impatient with the delayed response, he exits the patrol car to investigate the area. The family watches everything from afar, and in desperation, Carla screams for him to run. However, the officer does not hear the warnings and ends up brutally attacked by the animals. He still tries firing at them, but misses his shots and ends up torn apart by the pack while the family watches in panic. Adam tries calming the children when he notices Carla crying. He approaches to comfort her, but in tears, she says they could have saved the officer. Adam replies that there was nothing they could do, causing Carla to break down even more. Not knowing what to do, she asks how they will escape. Adam then hands her a radio and reveals he has a plan. He explains that he will run to the pickup truck to distract the dogs, and when he gives the signal, Carla must run with the children to the vehicle without stopping for anything. Though reluctant, Carla agrees, and Adam leaves the house armed. Slowly, he crosses the property and manages to reach the pickup truck. Carla waits for the signal while Adam starts the vehicle and parks it near the house. However, the moment he gives the signal, one of the dogs breaks the pickup truck window and brutally attacks him. Once again, the family watches Adam being attacked while he loses control of the vehicle and violently crashes into the patrol car. Carla screams desperately for her husband, but all she hears in return is silence coming from the destroyed pickup truck. Suddenly, a growl emerges near them, and the family notices a wild dog beside the house. The animal lunges to attack them, but they manage to escape back inside the house. Once inside, Sophie panics and insists they need to rescue Adam, but Carla claims going outside now would be far too dangerous. At that moment, everyone freezes upon realizing one of the dogs managed to enter the house unnoticed. At the same time, Adam remains unconscious inside the destroyed pickup truck. Without wasting time, Carla hides the children inside a closet and orders them both to wait until she returns. She then grabs a knife to defend herself, but soon begins hearing strange noises throughout the house and goes to investigate what is happening. Meanwhile, Sophie tries to comfort Henry, promising everything will be all right. At the same time, Carla continues sneaking through the house when she comes face to face with one of the dogs, forcing her to quickly hide. After the animal moves away, she quietly continues walking through the house, but ends up encountering the dog again, this time biting a doll in the bedroom. Carla takes advantage of the animal's distraction to move into another room, and when the dog tries to follow her, she manages to lock it inside. The animal begins growling ferociously, trying to escape, while Carla takes the opportunity to grab a radio from the shelf. In tears, she tries contacting Adam, who at that moment begins regaining consciousness inside the destroyed pickup truck. As he exits the vehicle, he notices the radio was damaged in the crash, but decides to take it anyway. Inside the house, Carla continues waiting for a response when loud banging begins echoing from outside. She immediately prepares for a possible attack while Adam cautiously approaches the house. Shortly afterward, he manages to reach the clinic and tries contacting Carla through the radio, but receives no response. Adam then decides to treat his own wounds, and while doing so, loud banging echoes through the place again, forcing him to go investigate. At the same time, Carla heads down to the basement when she feels something on her boots. Upon checking, she realizes it is blood, but continues advancing through the place. Shortly afterward, Carla ends up finding another beast and, frightened, runs to hide while the animal slowly begins sniffing her out. The wild dog senses the smell of blood on the knife Carla is holding while she remains hidden behind a door, trying not to make noise. At the last instant, she is saved by a noise coming from another room, causing the animal to move away. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Carla gathers courage and slowly begins leaving her hiding place. Meanwhile, Sophie and Henry remain hidden in complete silence, trying not to draw attention. However, the two become frightened when they spot one of the dogs near them. Everything goes silent for a few seconds until, suddenly, the animal lunges trying to attack them. The siblings scream desperately while Carla appears behind the dog and begins stabbing it repeatedly. She cannot kill the animal, but manages to drive it away. After confirming her children are safe, the siblings run from the room to hug their mother. Meanwhile, from afar, Carla hears the animal's howls echoing across the property. Back to Adam, he heads to the kennel and finds one of the creatures devouring the animals trapped inside the cages. Horrified by the scene, Adam decides not to react and slowly backs away to avoid drawing attention. At that moment, Sophie attempts contact through the radio. Adam tries preventing the device from making noise, but the girl keeps insistently calling him. He quickly turns off the radio and starts sneaking through the area, trying to hide from the creature. However, Adam is surprised by the animal and ends up in a brutal fight, managing to kill the creature before escaping the area. Meanwhile, the family continues trying to contact their father, but fails miserably. On the other hand, Adam manages to find the shells in the clinic and reloads his gun. Shortly afterward, he hears Carla on the radio and quickly responds, asking if everyone is all right. Carla says she and the children are safe and asks about his situation. Adam admits he is badly injured, but states he will keep fighting for them. Carla begins to worry, but Adam says he will not be able to escape the animals. She suggests using the pickup truck, but he reveals the vehicle was destroyed. At that moment, the family hears windows breaking, and Carla realizes they need to leave immediately. Adam tells everyone to head to the barn and climb onto the roof, claiming they will be safe there until another patrol arrives in the morning. Adam leaves first, while the rest of the family carefully sneaks outside the house. Along the way, Carla ends up tripping while the children manage to keep moving forward. However, she notices a wild dog nearby and tells the two to continue without her. The siblings enter Henry's secret passage while Carla returns to the house, trying to lure the animal away from them. Sophie still sees the dog following her mother, but decides to keep going so she will not hinder her. Along the way, Henry spreads urine from the clinic dogs to try confusing the wild animal's sense of smell. The siblings attempt to move again, but one of the animals begins moving above them. The two freeze in fear while the creature continues searching the area, and Sophie tells Henry to hurry. Before leaving, Henry remembers the shells he had hidden there and quickly grabs them. Shortly afterward, they notice the dog's presence again and continue moving forward. As they advance through the hideout, the animal begins tracking them and enters the tunnel. At the same time, Adam positions himself on the roof and stays alert while observing the property. Meanwhile, Carla thinks of something she can use against the animals and decides to resort to flammable products. The siblings finally manage to leave the hideout, and Sophie closes the passage before the dog can reach them. Adam notices the two moving and prepares to help them. They continue running toward the barn, but Sophie accidentally makes noise along the way. Henry tells his sister to be careful while Adam continues guarding the roof. Suddenly, Carla appears, setting fire against the animals and holding a torch to try driving them away. Sophie and Henry manage to reach the roof, but soon notice several dogs advancing toward their mother. Carla realizes the fire is not working as she hoped and begins running desperately. At the same time, Adam tries buying time for her by shooting some of the creatures. However, his bullets quickly run out until Henry surprises him with the shells he had found. Carla continues fleeing from the animals and tries hiding inside the destroyed pickup truck, but one of the dogs manages to follow her. The animal bites Carla's leg, but she manages to strike it and escape from the pickup truck, trapping the creature inside. She then sneaks beneath the pickup truck while Adam climbs down to help her. Carla notices everything has become far too silent, but suddenly the dog reappears biting her leg. She strikes the animal several times, forcing it to release her, but soon finds herself face to face with the creature. When the dog is about to attack her again, Adam appears at the last instant and fires at the beast. Carla sighs in relief while the other dogs flee frightened toward the forest. In the morning, the family celebrates their victory against the animals, and at that moment Ollie reappears alive. Relieved to have survived that night, everyone returns inside the house. The film ends by showing that the danger is still far from over.